Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Candidly with Coffee.
We're back. Not like we left for long.
I know. Now it's going to feel that way because we did post our first ever coffee break.
Oh, that's right.
Thursday morning was the first ever coffee break. So if you haven't tuned into that one, it's going to be a shorter, very topic-specific bonus shows. And it's not only going to be about health and fitness. It's going to be about whatever. Whatever.
Yeah.
It could be many different things, but you'll know exactly what it's about because it'll be very topic specific and in the title. So if it's something you'd be interested in, take a listen. It's short. It's to the point. It should be fun. It should be deep dives into the coffee pot.
Break it, busting myths too.
Yeah, well, that's one of the topics.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a little bonus for you guys, a little extra, a little something.
Yeah, so that's also on Apple Podcasts and YouTube, so it's both. You could watch it, you could listen to it, you could do both. It doesn't matter. Anyways, though, happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
It's officially my birthday weekend.
It's your birthday weekend.
Yeah, your birthday just passed.
Mine passed. Officially 48 years old. I say young.
48 years young?
Yeah, young and strong.
Do you want to know what's so funny? I don't know why, but I spent the entire year thinking I was already 47.
You already planned it in your head, huh?
I feel like I just got back a year. I thought I was turning 48.
No, 47. Remember, you're year younger than me.
I know. I thought you were turning 49.
Mm-mm. Damn, you're already trying to push me out to the grave, huh? 1 year sooner?
No, I just can't believe that. I felt like so excited. I'm like, oh my gosh, I literally feel like I just got back a whole year.
Yeah.
I really felt
That's
47.
crazy.
So turning 47, for those of you who wonder, like, oh, what's it feel like now to be 47? It feels exactly the same because I already thought I was 47.
People ask you that. How do you feel? I feel the same as I felt last year.
I know. Or yesterday. It's
I mean, yeah, we're getting older, but honestly, because I've been paying attention to doing things different, I feel good. The cold showers help. The workouts help. Vitamins work. Everything helps. Everything.
Yeah,
It's a good birthday.
What's interesting
mentally
is that because we work so hard on constantly improving
yes.
fitness and
Always.
even supplementation and
Yes.
food and just so many things, I don't feel like, at least for I would say the last 5 years, I don't feel like I'm getting older. I don't feel, I feel the age. Like when I get up, I feel kind of the same or better. The same or better. I don't feel like, now that I'm older, because it hasn't changed a lot.
No.
I would say even in 5 years, I feel like not even my look has changed that much. I don't feel like my face has aged significantly. I feel like the same things that bother me now bothered me 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And they haven't necessarily gotten worse. They're just the same things that bothered me 5 years ago.
Yeah. Well, you put in the work too, not just working out. You're drinking, you're hydrated, which is very important. Whatever skin stuff you do, which you do, you always do your little...
My regimes.
Your regimes, yeah. You're sleeping.
Yes, sleep is big.
Nutrition is on point. Your workouts are more than on point. Mm-hmm. You're doing 6 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
Couple double days.
That stimulates growth hormone, which keeps you young.
Yes.
Good, consistent resistance training and working out. Working out keeps you looking young.
Mm-hmm. It is. It's the medicine to staying young. I don't know why people don't understand it. They're looking for a pill and products on the internet and all this. Put this stuff in my skin and injections. No dummies. That's not where it's at. Because guess what? Your internals are aging. You also have to remember that.
What's
as long
crazy?
As they're external, your internals are aging too.
Yeah, and what's crazy is people will do anything else besides working out, which actually works.
Oh my goodness.
I've seen this it was on a.
It's annoying.
I don't know. It was on a reality show, but where they put on this suit and they plugged in all of these electrodes all over their body or whatever, and it's supposed to be a 15-minute workout is equivalent to 2 hours of working out. Just the process of putting on the suit and doing all these things, this special suit, it's uncomfortable. Why don't you just do the actual workout? Forget the suit. You know what I mean? It's probably just bull crap anyway, but I'm just saying they'll do so many things in order to avoid what actually works.
Yeah. Dude, people, listen. Take my advice. It's free. I'm going to charge you nothing. She's going to charge you. Invest in yourselves. Stop buying shit you don't need in life and I need this. I need to do that. Dude, you need to work on yourself. Everybody. Stop, look in the mirror, and hold yourself accountable. Period.
Yeah.
Stop fucking pointing fingers at this or blaming that. Or stop with the excuses. Invest in yourself. That's the most important person you
but
can invest in.
But invest in yourself, not with the gimmicky things.
Yes.
Do what works, what's proven. There's not a lot of like gimmicky things, you know?
Stop. Just stop. Work on yourselves, people.
I don't know. So anyways, what plans this weekend? We're going to go to Mastro's.
Yes,
which there is a Mastro's now in San Jose.
Hey, we're coming up in the world, San Jose.
Yeah, if those of you who don't know, it's a very popular steakhouse.
Yes.
And we've been to the one in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
We've been to the one in Orange County.
That's the mother. I call it the mother one. The original.
It's like right on the water.
That was the original location? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that one's beautiful.
I think so. There's probably one in New York.
Because, you know, the Vegas restaurants never start in Vegas. They always come from somewhere else. Like STK Steakhouse.
They usually come from New York.
Yes. Is there a
I think there must be a Mastro's in New York.
Huh. How would we not know that? Because we've eaten
I don't know, but I love Mastro's. So Friday's going to be, even though my birthday is officially Saturday, Friday is going to be like my official, like, cheat meal. Because I want to enjoy Mastro's.
Yeah, of course, you should. Mm-hmm.
And then
I don't remember the menu no more. It's been so many years since we've eaten there.
It's typical, like, steakhouse food, but yeah, I want to try, like, supposedly the butter cake is, like, amazing, and I want to try it.
Yes. It's your birthday.
I found that one thing I have noticed this year is my taste buds are changing a little bit. Like, I'm eating and enjoying things that previously I didn't. Like, I never ate cake. Never. I hated cake my whole life. My mom would get, like, a cookie cake or something like that.
Oh, my God. How do you hate cake?
Because I did not like cake. I didn't eat my birthday cake. She always would buy a birthday cake, and I would never eat it.
Remember those cheap-ass box cakes?
Yeah, like, that's what my mom
mother
would
used to always make those with the
cheap
cheap frosting, and, oh, my God, those were good.
I liked the batter, but I never liked the cake. But I realize that I'm starting to like cake.
I mean, yeah. Look at me. I didn't eat sushi. I was 30. I was closed-minded. I didn't eat avocados really till I got with you. Guacamole, I thought it was the grossest thing. And I
got you into guacamole.
So a lot of my taste, I don't need things this sweet. I used to remember my coffee, how many Splendas I used to put in my coffee, and you're like, what the heck? I put one. Dude.
Yeah, because one time when you first became my trainer, and I texted you and asked you if you wanted a coffee. I was at Starbucks, and you said, yeah, sure. You wanted an Americano with half and half and 7 Splendas. I was like, 7 Splendas? See? Because Splendas are sweet.
I know.
7 Splendas. I was like, holy shit.
I do 2 now, an
this
Americano.
Guy's crazy.
2. That's it. One in my cup of coffee every morning.
So it was funny because I was... Built Bar came out with a double chocolate Built Bar, and they sent me a sample. And normally I wouldn't like that, the double chocolate, but I tried it. I was like, wow, this is actually really good. And I was talking about it on Instagram, and I was saying, I don't even like chocolate stuff, but this Built Bar is really good, which it is. But then I had to stop and think, like, wait a minute. I have been gravitating more towards chocolate lately. Like, I bought a chocolate quinoa granola. I've been having, like, a piece of chocolate every night. I bought a chocolate protein powder. And I put chocolate protein powder in my yogurt. Like, so maybe I am a chocolate person. It's like, I lied. I said on Instagram that I'm not a chocolate person. I think I am. I became one and didn't even realize it.
Just like that.
You know? So you can change. Your taste buds can change even like in your 40s.
Yeah, they do. They can change for sure.
I used to be we were talking about this. I used to be the most picky, boringest eater. I liked cheese pizza, a hot dog with mustard, a plain cheeseburger. That was pretty much what I ate as a kid. Yes, unhealthy. My mom, that's what she would get for me. And then, as an adult, I always gravitate to vanilla. Vanilla everything.
Me too.
You
More
know?
than chocolate.
But who's to say? I have to say, I also have gotten more, like recently, like a month ago, we got a combination pizza.
Oh,
and it was so good.
Yeah. I gotta give him a shout out. What's the name of that place?
Oh, it's Pizza California on
guys,
Brokaw.
They
have a special sourdough crust.
Yes. The dough is from sourdough.
Yeah. And
amazing.
I looked up, what I did was I looked up their specialties and I looked up their best sellers and I ordered their top best sellers. Try doing that at restaurants. When you go to a restaurant,
don't be afraid.
Ask the waiter, what's your best seller? What's your most popular item? And don't even ask what's in it. Just order it for what it is and try it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times we then will mess it up because then we'll say, oh, what's in it? Oh, but can I have it without this or without that? No, just order it as is. You might surprise yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. They know what's the best things on their items. Regardless, when you're at a restaurant, ask them exactly what's their best seller. What's your personal preference? Best seller.
We should ask, when we go to Mastro's, we should say, what's your best-selling side?
Yeah.
I know their best-selling dessert is the butter cake, so I want to try the butter cake.
At steakhouses, though, they'll try to upsell you. Oh, you should go with this steak, this and that. You look at the price tag.
No, I don't want. That's why I said side.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to get a filet mignon.
Of course.
And then I'll just look at the sides.
I just need 8 ounces. I don't need 16. I don't eat big old steaks like that no more.
Oh my gosh, even 8 ounces. I'm going to have
to some people order porterhouses and tomahawks. Like, oh, that's too much meat. I couldn't do it.
That's way too much.
Yeah.
Way too much.
6 to 8 for me is perfect. I don't need more than that in one sitting.
So that's Friday. And then Saturday, okay, so Tyler and Alyssa for my birthday last year got me tickets to the Tyler Henry show. And the Tyler Henry show is The Psychic. Tyler Henry is coming to San Jose, but he got COVID, and they canceled it. So the show was going to be in March of last year. And I love him. My kids know I love him. I watched his show. I read his first book. I haven't read his second book. And I love the whole idea of, like, feeling like there's something else, like afterlife. And it makes me feel comforted with the passing of my mom. So they bought me that very generous gift last year, but since he got sick, it canceled, and guess what? It got rescheduled for my birthday.
It was meant to be. Isn't that weird? Yeah. It was meant to be special for your birthday weekend.
Yeah, so it's on your birthday.
Yeah.
Like, on my actual birthday. I'm getting my birthday gift from last year. Alyssa and I are going to go to dinner, and then we're going to go see the show, and they got me really good tickets. So it's like front and center. Like,
I'm excited for you.
First few rows. And not to say, like, he doesn't give readings to everybody, obviously, and not to say that in order I need to have a reading to feel good about it. It's not that. It's seeing everybody else get their readings or seeing the impact will make me feel better. Because it just makes me feel like...
I just want to know if my mother's doing okay. Just like you do. Wherever they're at. You know, their energy.
I just want to know, I hope it's not over. I hope there's something else. I hope I can see her again.
Yeah.
And when I see things like that, and when I have my own readings or whatever, it gives me like reassurance that this isn't over.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
I believe it. We're going somewhere. We're all going to reunite somewhere.
So that's what's going on there, and I'm excited about it. So that's birthday weekend. Nothing too crazy, but
10 years ago, wifey and I would have been in Vegas.
Well, 4 years ago we were in Miami.
Yeah.
I got the memories. We partied hard in Miami.
Yeah.
Not as hard as we normally go, but my 40th was in Miami, and we went like old school party status on that. That was probably the last time like I really turned up. Was my 40th birthday.
I just we like getting up early, coffee, gym. It's part of our life. It's like if people religiously go to church, like religiously, day and night. Working out, gym, whatever you want to call it.
Even on vacation. So for me now, vacations sounds to me like get up early, go have a workout, maybe walk around outside, have some coffee, and then go hang out by the pool with good music, some cocktails, and then a good dinner. Yes. That's an ideal vacation for me. So if that's where I have aged, that's where it's at. Yeah. It's in the things I like to do have changed. Yeah.
Plus, when you get a good night's sleep, you're preserving yourself. Yeah. We wore ourselves out for many years.
Yeah.
Not sleeping properly, up all hours of the night. Sometimes the sun was coming up. I'm glad that's done and over with.
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm not chasing that high anymore. I still have friends in my age group who still want that high and chasing. Like, bro, retire already. You're too old. Stop it. What are you doing? You're not a kid no more.
Yeah. Okay, so now we are on to our hot coffee topic.
Which is?
All right. I know we talk about this topic a lot, but husbands killing their wives, right?
Damn.
Have you heard of she's in the East Coast, I think Massachusetts actually. Ana Walshe is missing. This woman, Ana Walshe.
Wait. Some dude is in the media, is famous. His wife just disappeared and she's worth a lot of money. Is that the one?
I think she might be worth a lot of money. I don't know about what she's worth, but what happened is she's a real estate agent. He is like an investment banker. And the last time she was seen was New Year's Day. She supposedly had to go look at a property she had to fly somewhere to look at a property, maybe fly to Florida, I think, last minute because something was going on with one of her properties. And her husband says she got into an Uber early that morning and he didn't hear from her. And after 3 days, she was reported missing after 3 days, okay?
Wait. After 3 days?
Yeah.
I would report you missing after a few hours.
Right. Like if you called me.
You're not answering your phone.
Right.
I would have been going crazy. Like, that's not like
So
you. Yeah.
There's no record of her ever taking a rideshare or an Uber. There's no record of a flight. There's no record of her at the airport.
Red flag.
Okay.
3.
He is currently, the husband, is actually on house arrest right now because he was convicted of some sort of a scheme. So he's a convicted felon on house arrest.
Scam artist.
But here's the interesting thing. He was arrested now on suspicion of murder. And...
Is he being charged?
Yeah, he was arrested.
Okay, so he's being charged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He's being charged because a couple of things that pointed to his guilt. Her body has not been found, but he's being arrested. Usually, if a body has not been found, they don't charge with murder.
It's hard. No case, no body.
I think they're charging with murder. He was seen on a security camera buying the day after she disappeared, before she was reported missing, $450 worth of supplies. Some of the things he purchased, tarps, buckets, and he was wearing disposable gloves and a mask when he did that.
Shopping?
Yeah.
Try to cover his identity?
I don't know. And here is... This is the ultimate. This is the ultimate
Arrogance
sign of
men.
guilt. Okay? 2 days before she was reported missing, his internet search history consists of, what's the best state to divorce for a man?
I seen this story.
4:55 a.m. How long before a body starts to smell?
Yep.
4:58. How to stop a body from decomposing? 5:20. How to embalm a body?
He's searching on his own laptop?
Yes. This is literally, it's literally a blueprint to what he did to this woman.
Bro.
5:47, 10 ways to dispose of a dead body if you really need to. 6:25, how long for someone to be missing to inherit? She must be worth money.
She is. I think that's the one I saw on TV.
6:34, can you throw away body parts? 9:29 a.m. Oh, he took a 3-hour break there. What does formaldehyde do? 9:34, how long does DNA last? 9:59, can identification be made on partial remains? 11:34, dismemberment and the best way to dispose a body. 11:44, how to clean blood from a wooden floor. 11:56, luminol to detect blood. 108, what happens when you put body parts in ammonia? 121, is it better to throw crime scene clothes away or wash them? This is the mother of 3 of his children.
Bro, for money. All for money. I can't believe humans are that big POSs. Like, you really need to kill your mate for money. Like, that's what it comes down to. And you said they got 3 kids together?
3 kids.
That's the mother of all his 3 kids?
Yes.
Come on, bro. Like,
Can
I can
you
understand
believe
we
it?
fight, we bicker and whatnot, but to kill the mother of your children over money, bro? Like, because all of a sudden you want to, like, what do you say? They want this life, like, oh, I'm single, I got this money, I can go play.
It's kind of like psychosis
like, they
or
want to live
something.
this freedom, like this fantasy life.
Because this is like a severe problem. There are so many cases of wives getting murdered by their spouse or partner. So I decided to look up some statistics. I'm like, seriously, this is like out of hand.
Don't worry, babe. I love you to death. I'd
Sleeping
give
with-
my life for you, not the other way around. You know what I'm
Sleeping
saying?
with the enemy.
Yeah,
All right.
You're right. It is. Like, women need to strap up. Like, yo, you might want to go purchase a gun. Don't tell your husband to stash it just in case you need it one day. I'm just saying, you gotta protect yourself. Men are stronger physically. You know, it's dirty. It's like Listen, sneak attack. Like, you have no idea I'm plotting to kill you.
Yeah.
So I'm going to find the sneakiest, easiest way. I'm going to catch you slipping, whether it's in your sleep or something. It's fucked up. Because you have no chance of protecting yourself. Because I'm plotting to catch you at the most vulnerable point.
If your mate wants to kill you, they're going to kill you. Yes. You're vulnerable with them.
Yes.
They're going to kill you.
Your guard's down.
They're going to poison you. They're going to do whatever. Yeah. It's scary, you know?
And vice versa. Women do it too to men.
Yeah, but according to the World Health Organization...
Who?
World Health Organization.
I know, I call them who?
40% of women that are murdered, 40% is from their spouse or partner.
Damn.
So if a woman is murdered, 40% chance that it was from her spouse or her partner.
So basically, any woman that gets with a man has a 40% chance of being...
No. If she's murdered, chances are 40% chance that it was...
Yeah.
Babe, if it was 40% chance, who would get married? Mm-mm. Are you kidding me? That's like the divorce rate.
Higher. Divorce is higher than that. You're way off.
No, but
70.
But men, it's only 7%. So 7% of men that are murdered, in only 7% of the cases, it is their wife. Mm-hmm. But if 40% of the murder cases of a woman, it's their partner. Mm-hmm. So men are killing their partner at a more... alarming rate. And chances are, if a woman ends up dead, if I die in whatever manner, be ready, because you are about to be suspect number 1.
And that's scary, because what if you fall asleep at night, I wake up, and your body's lifeless the next day?
Then, regardless of what it is...
Oh, it's super on me. 100%.
It's on you first. You know?
Damn.
Yeah.
I feel like there's husbands...
If my body's lifeless...
I feel like... No, because I feel like there is husbands who are innocent who didn't kill their wives, too.
Agreed.
And got convicted and are on death row, whatever. They're out there. I've heard of stories like that.
I totally agree with that.
Because you have to understand, this is something... Not to get too off topic, but Joe Rogan said DAs always want to win. And they will do whatever. They'll suppress evidence knowing that person is innocent, but I must win my case because I must have these wins under my record. That is so dirty. I think they should change the law where DAs should get charged with crimes for doing that.
Yeah, I do agree.
That's too dirty.
But what I wanted to talk about more so than that is why? Like, why is this happening? So it says that...
Yeah, why?
Spontaneously, like if it's not planned or premeditated, if it's more spontaneous, it's usually someone that they already have a history of domestic violence in their relationship. So the person has, a history of being violent tendencies, and then one time he just takes it too far.
Really? Mm-hmm. It's one thing beating a chick and then killing her.
No, but if you are in an abusive relationship, statistically, you have a higher chance of eventually one of those episodes of abuse being the final one. So, it's scary because there's a lot of people, there's probably people listening to this podcast right now that are in an abusive relationship.
Remember that story I told you recently happened in Mexico where an ex-MMA fighter, he got into it with this girl, pushed her a little too hard, she fell in the shower and broke her neck, dead. Yeah. And this happened in Mexico. He's an American, like, oof.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. And who's to say whether he's guilty or not? I don't know.
Yeah.
But premeditated homicides, the motives are often jealousy or greed.
Yep, that's what I said.
A lot of times they become enraged when their wives have more success. That's interesting. So that's...
Damn.
Another thing
Talk about a hater. She'd be a cheerleader for your wife.
I know.
Dude, I would be cheering you on if you blew. I wouldn't be a hater. But a lot of men do get insecure. They don't want their women making more money than them. It's a pride thing.
And their premeditated homicides, even if they're premeditated, they're often very poorly planned, according to statistics. They don't even stop to think, like, my cell phone can be tracked. Or for this case of this guy who's not a dummy, obviously, he's an investment banker, he was running scams, but he didn't stop to think his search history was going to be...
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Like, hello.
Yeah,
You're
supposed to go to the public library and use their
another
computers and shit like
a red flag is if your spouse is extremely controlling. If your partner is really possessive, wants to control you, who you talk to, what you wear, where you go, that's a red flag. Because if that person, if they're a control freak, and if they feel like they're losing control, like maybe they lost their job, or their wife just enters into a more of a power position, and they feel like they're losing that sense of control, it can often lead to an elevation in abuse. Or in circumstances of the wife becoming pregnant is another thing. Pregnant women also statistically are murdered.
That's insane.
If they're murdered, statistically, it is like a 50-50 chance that it was their spouse or partner.
Damn.
Even after separation, in fact, a woman that is recently separated from an abusive relationship, so she got out. At that point, she is more vulnerable than ever. Statistically, that is oftentimes when the violence occurs, is when she has taken that step.
That's insane, dude. The dudes that do that, it's crazy.
Domestic homicide offenders' personalities are usually narcissistic and antisocial.
Wow.
So beware the quiet ones.
Yeah, and there's those ones. I guys would say this plainly, but if I can't have her, no one can. You gotta be careful with those too, because they are out there, dangerous.
Jeez, so Walsh is accused of dismembering his missing wife, dismembering the mother of his 3 children. It's such a huge step beyond just killing her.
Yeah.
Dismembering her. Yeah. You know?
The woman you married.
Like looking to
Dude, you're a sicko to do that. Not only did you just kill your woman, your wife, but you're dismembering her. That takes a special kind of sick in the head individual to do that. That's not normal behavior, man.
Now, the scary thing about domestic violence and abuse is it's not like you start dating somebody and they're an abusive, violent person. It's like they change or it escalates. It's little things that escalate, and so before you know it, you find yourself in a potentially abusive relationship.
Yeah.
And a lot of times those abusers, they love bomb you, or it's like you feel like they love you so much. It feels like love.
Yeah.
It does. And a lot of people who are, vulnerable to that, maybe they had daddy issues or issues as a child or whatever, but it is scary. I mean, it's not only husbands and wives. I mean, look at Gabby Petito.
Yeah.
She was killed by her boyfriend.
And the cops could have saved her. They pulled them over. There was evidence of domestic violence, but you
Right.
let them go on. They should get sued. They should be in trouble for that.
Sad.
Yeah,
They
sad.
literally
They could have prevented a murder.
You know how hard that is as a parent. Like, you had my daughter. She was crying. You knew they had
Separate them,
had an altercation,
Idiots.
and you allowed that.
Idiots. God, some police officers are morons. No common sense.
So sad. But I do want to put up the number here, and I'll put it in the show notes. But the National Domestic Violence Hotline, it's available 24/7 for confidential support. The number is 1-800-799-SAFE. If you or someone,
help them.
Do not underestimate. Just like we've often talked about how people underestimate who has the capacity to take their own life.
Right.
Do not underestimate someone having the capacity to take someone else's life as well.
Yes.
Or both.
Facts.
Because murder-suicide is actually very
happens
common.
a lot. Mm-hmm.
Scary stuff.
Didn't that happen recently in Pacifica, where the dude drove off the cliff with his family?
Oh, we never talked about that?
Devil Slide.
Yeah, and I tried looking for more information to see.
They charged him.
They charged him, but I didn't look up why did they charge him.
Yeah, I didn't.
Did his wife say something, whatever? So, long story short, before we move on, a family close to our area in the Bay Area,
about 45 minutes from us.
Yeah,
Pacifica.
their Tesla went over a cliff.
Off the one. They call it Devil Slide because a lot of cars have gone over that cliff.
And they said it's virtually like an unsurvivable fall.
Yes.
It's
facts.
a miracle that them and their 2 children survived, but they were seriously injured and hospitalized, and everyone was like, oh, thank goodness, they survived. What an amazing rescue mission. And then a few days later, we hear the husband is placed under arrest for attempted murder.
Yeah, because the wife probably said, what the hell are you doing? He had a fleeting thought, probably, boom,
Maybe.
off the cliff.
But I did look into it a little bit because I was curious. I think the last name is Patel. He's a doctor.
A doctor?
He's a doctor.
Wow.
A renowned doctor. No history. Their neighbors say they're a great family. It showed them like giving cookies to the neighbors a couple of days before.
What do we say about that, though?
Yeah.
It's always good on the outside, on the surface, right?
Right. And so, but there was no outward signs of like, oh yeah, definitely saw that coming kind of thing.
There never is.
So they don't know. Was it like a fleeting? Were they having like an argument, or were the kids going crazy? Like, did he have just like temporary insanity, or was there a lot of stuff that we don't know?
Yeah, people don't believe you can have temporary insanity. It hits you fast. It comes quick.
Right.
And you have a fleeting thought, then here I go. 'Cause I talked to a friend of mine one time. He said the same thing. Like, he's had thoughts one time where he just wanted to take his car off the cliff and off the bridge I go. It's over for me. No more stresses, no more life. Yeah.
Anyway, so I looked into that because I'm curious, like, what led to his arrest. Because his wife must have remembered, or the kids, someone remembered something.
Of course.
And said something. And so that has me super curious. Okay, moving on. What I want to talk about is weight loss stalls.
Weight loss.
Because I feel like, especially like right now, a lot of people are in a calorie deficit, so you're probably going to experience this. So it's a good time to talk about what to expect. I feel like weight loss stalls is used way too loosely. People always think they're stalled.
Always.
Stalls are actually not that common if what you think it's a true stall. True stalls actually are not that common.
Yeah.
It's usually not a true weight loss stall. So
do elaborate.
Weight loss stalls are usually like, it's a perception that you're stalled because you maybe had some success initially and it slowed down or stopped. And so so you think like, oh, I need to do something drastic. No, you need to just take a closer look at what you are doing. So most people will, the first month that they start like a calorie deficit, they're all gung-ho, right? I'm tracking, I'm going to do all the things, I'm going to do my steps. You start to see results, and then what do? You kind of like get lazy.
Yes.
You think you got this down, like, okay, cool.
Yep.
I'm just going to eat the same thing, but now I know what 4 ounces looks like, so I'm not going to measure it.
Yep.
Now I know what...
Overconfident.
Yeah. So you start to not do what you were doing initially.
Yep.
You need to ask yourself, are you really still doing it, or did you loosen the reins?
That's what we say, a fair word, loosen the reins.
Yeah.
Because what happens when you loosen the reins? You start packing on some fluff.
Well, yeah, because you think you're doing the same thing. It feels like you're doing the same things. It feels like you're eating the same things. I'm still eating only a bowl of popcorn, but is that bowl of popcorn filling up a little more? Are you snacking a little more? Because you've got a little overconfident. You had that first month in, you got results, and so then you think you're a pro and you stop tracking, you just eyeball things.
Everybody's guilty, including me. I've done it too.
You have to stay tedious until you're in maintenance. Mm-hmm. You have to stay tedious.
Listen to the boss, the coach right there. She's telling you guys.
Don't let up. Letting up is for maintenance. That's for maintenance. And even then, you'll have to come out of maintenance eventually and go back into a deficit. Yours truly is the example of that, which is normal, which is fine. Because when you let off, even in maintenance, it'll start to creep back up. The cheat days will get a little bit more extravagant. Mm-hmm. They'll, my Saturdays started at Friday night. Yes. And then it became Saturday.
The fats will start crawling all over your body. Like,
and that's
in the air, going there, it starts creeping on.
But that behavior, we reserve that for maintenance. That's maintenance behavior. So stop acting in maintenance. If you are diligent in your calorie deficit and tedious and do the things, then you can get out of the deficit. That's the light at the end of the tunnel. Yeah. Because maintenance is nice.
Yes, it is.
Maintenance is fun.
Losing's not fun.
No.
You got to enjoy it because you got to look forward to the end goal. That's the fun part about it. But during the process, who wants to be hungry? Nobody. That feeling sucks.
I also feel like initially with a weight loss program, you do the things. You're like, okay, I'm going to eat my protein. I'm going to, you do everything, and then you have some success, and then you start to cheat the system. You start to think like, does it really matter if I hit my protein? Maybe I'll just like watch my calories and I won't pay attention to my protein. Does it really matter if I track my steps? Does it,
yes,
you start to or you start to, again, try to cheat the system. You're like, I kind of want to have like an extra cheat meal. So I'm just going to do like an extra hour on the treadmill. Or I'm going to put my Apple Watch on and I'm going to, work out until I burn 500 calories so that I could go eat 500 calories. Yeah. You start to just look for ways around it. It's just who we are as humans. Yes. That doesn't work. Don't do that. Mm-mm. You can't do that because calories tracked on your device is not reliable.
Nope.
So, are you guilty of doing that, would you say?
Yes. I am. Of course. Look. If I would have stayed on, let's just say I stayed on ketos one time and really watched it, I would have been razor ripped all these years. But no, I let the reins loose, and I've been battling ever since.
Yeah, but you would have struggled in the gym if you would have stayed on keto.
Yeah, I was hitting a wall. For the kind of workouts that I do, very explosive hit workouts, no, it wasn't working anymore.
A good way to know if you're in a deficit, too, is if you are feeling hungry. That's the best way to know if you're in a deficit, is if you're feeling that hunger, and you're like, okay, yeah, my body is telling me. So, anyways, but don't overestimate your calorie burn from exercise, and don't try to, cheat out more eating by exercising more. These are all just the kind of things that people tend to do after their initial excitement on a new program. I like to say it's like looking for loopholes, cheating the system. Yes. Usually you let go of the protein. Maybe you try to exchange calories for exercise, and that doesn't work. Mm-hmm. Are you overestimating your consistency? I feel like the other thing besides weight loss stalls is people feel like a rock star if they've been able to stay consistent for 3 or 4 weeks. But then they look in the mirror and they don't look like a rock star yet. So there's a disconnect there. Like, damn, I thought I was doing so good, but where is it? And then you kind of like lose steam a little bit. And then this is where you look for the loopholes. And then you'll call it a stall.
Yeah.
But really it's just because you lost motivation a little bit, you kind of like your consistency lets up.
Yes. Facts. That's true.
In order to call yourself consistent, and my clients know this because this is what I talk about like all the time. Consistency means you've tracked your calories and stayed within the calorie range. Okay? That's very important. That's consistent. On that day, you've also hit your protein goal. You've gotten in your movement goal for the day. That's consistent. Okay? Add in getting your water in and having a good night's sleep. That's what I consider a consistent day. If you're not having at least 26 of those days out of 30, you're not consistent enough to move the needle.
Yep.
And take it a step further. On those 4 days that you're not consistent, it's not like off the chain days. It just means that you've let up on one of those things, couple of those things, but not that you've had like a binge weekend or whatever, because then that'll negate some of those 26 days. And until you are literally honest with yourself,
I'm stretching.
Until you are honest with yourself on your true consistency, you're gonna try to like say it's a stall. I don't know. I don't understand. I must be stalled. I'm not. A lot of times my clients will come to me thinking there's a big change that needs to happen. I must need to change my nutrition style. I must need to go back to keto, or I must need to exercise more. I must need a macro change. No.
Stop.
9 times out of 10, you must just go back to the drawing board and get your ass to be consistent.
You know what we say? Somebody asked me, and not to compare the two, like, how did you learn, what's the first thing you teach someone in fighting? I go, dancing. What does that mean? I go, because in dancing you need to have balance when you're moving around, right? Mm-hmm. You go one side too much, I fall. You go one side too, Same thing in fighting. It has to be a balance. You have to feel equilibrium. You have to balance. You have to know how to move right, left, left, right. That's the first thing you learn. Same thing. How do you master this diet or calorie or macronutrients? The basics. Like you said, go back to the basics. So I'm trying to do too much, you guys. I'm trying to do this, and this, and learn all these gimmicks. Back to the basics. Right. Everything starts with the basics.
Stop looking for shortcuts and loopholes and tricks.
Yes.
You can't trick the system.
No. We've been trying to biohack our bodies forever. It doesn't work. There's no magic pill yet, you guys.
No, and that's why when I talk to my clients, I always reiterate, like, if you're struggling big time with consistency, like, roll it back to just worry about calories, right? Because if you don't establish a strong foundation, the house is going to fall.
Yes.
So, like, just like think about 100%. It like building a house, right? Yep. If you don't lay a foundation, like a concrete slab down, and you just put up walls and then you put the roof and all this stuff, guess what happens? Eventually the house will... It's not a solid foundation, right? Nope. So as you keep adding things to it...
Yes.
the house could crumble.
It will.
But if you start with a nice solid foundation, then you can add to it and feel confident that, hey, you can even add a second story. Yeah. Because you have a solid foundation. Yes. You could keep going. You can't skip. Can't skip to the good part, like that song.
Stop trying to cheat the game. Can't cheat the game, you guys. Sorry.
Yeah, you really can't. And
I'm tired of people trying to sugarcoat shit. It takes hard work. That's it. Don't try to say, oh, is it going to be easy? No, it's hard. That's okay. Accept that. Stop trying to shortcuts. Enough with that.
Yeah, and I really do feel like the term weight loss stall is overused. Because a true stall, let me explain what a true stall would be. You've been in a calorie deficit for so long, consistent with it. You've actually been in a deficit for so long that your body has adapted to those calories. It's adapted to the exact output that you do because you're working out consistently at the same level and you're eating the same calories for a long period of time, and now your metabolism has adjusted. People think that happens much more quickly than it does. That comes with true metabolic adaptation, comes with I'm talking 6 months of consistency. I'm not talking about someone who is not consistent and is all over the place and feels stalled after 6 months. They're truly metabolically adapted. Yeah. Then you go back to maintenance. You sit there for a while. You kind of reset your metabolism for a few months, and then you go back into a deficit. That's what you do with a true stall. People, again, they think there's some magic you can do to bust a stall, right? Drop your calorie. No. If you're in a true stall, I hate to break it to you, but you got to put the diet on pause.
Yeah.
A true stall means it's time to take a diet break. Be okay with being in maintenance for a few months. A controlled maintenance, you might put on a couple of pounds, but still a controlled maintenance. And then when you're ready, when you're rehabbed, which your body will adjust right back up. It loves to do that. That's the beauty. Then you go back into your deficit and it'll be very effective. But the thing is, the truth be told, it's usually not the case that someone's in a true stall.
Yeah.
It's usually inconsistency.
Yeah. Remember in the beginning when I was doing keto, I was kind of doing it wrong. I was eating too much calories on my coffee, and you made an adjustment. All of a sudden, I started dropping weight.
Yeah, well, because what happened was you were doing keto, a diet that someone had given you.
Yeah.
And at first,
they call it the power diet.
Yeah. At first, you had lost, and you lost right away. Obviously, you lost that water weight or whatever.
The water.
And then you stalled.
I stalled.
And that's when I said, well, what are you eating? And I calculated everything you ate. And I looked at what your macros should be. And I was like, look, I know you're on this keto diet thing, but macros still matter. And you are way over consuming calories. And you're not going to lose until you fix this. So because I looked at what you were eating, you were having a coffee that literally had 900 calories in it.
Because we're putting olive oil.
You were putting 2 tablespoons of butter, 2 tablespoons of coconut oil, and heavy cream in your coffee. It was 900 calorie coffee. So I'm like, hey, let's scale this back. Yeah. Just that adjustment alone, and you started to lose weight again.
Yep.
And then after that, we put you on macros. That's when I shifted you into macros.
Every week we took pictures. You could see the difference.
So even though you did the keto diet, you still tracked macros. And even when I just coached keto clients initially, it was helping them in the same way. Because many, many people found themselves in the same predicament. They started the keto diet, and then they felt like they stalled after a month because their weight loss wasn't continuing. It's not that you stalled. It's that you were over-consuming calories because you weren't tracking macros. You were simply avoiding carbs. After you got used to consuming all those fats, your body got used to the digestion of the fats, and they weren't as satiating as they first were initially. So you were able to consume more, therefore putting you in a surplus, and a lot of people stalled. And that's when I stepped in and did meal plans for keto clients with macros. And I'm like, listen, I know keto, no carbs, blah, blah, blah. And the sentiment out there is you can eat as much as you want as long as you don't eat carbs. It's not true. Calories still matter. You still got to track calories.
Yeah. That's it. There's no way around it.
Right.
What do we call it? The law of thermodynamics?
Yes, that is the law. You can't circumvent that. And even like, we've talked about.
They want to so bad, but they can't. Sorry, you guys, you can't.
No.
You cannot.
It's
the law of thermodynamics. Look it up yourself. Don't believe us. Look it up for yourself. Go redo your own homework.
So, I mean, I think the most important thing when it comes to thinking about your weight loss stall is if you just hunker down and do the work, be tedious, do the things you need to do, get it done, it'll be over quicker and you can get into maintenance and it'll be easier when you're in maintenance. Now, don't let the word maintenance fool you though, because maintaining weight loss can be tricky as well.
Yep.
It means that when you go into maintenance, you're still kind of structured.
Yes.
You could loosen things up. Like you said, I say loosen the reins. You could loosen the reins a little bit, but you can't just go back to what you were doing before because the weight will all come back and then some.
And then some.
But you do, obviously, maintenance automatically means more calories, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
You know what, in terms of maintenance, the biggest mistake I feel like a lot of people make, besides just stopping the diet and kind of going back to the way things were, stopping tracking, that's one big thing. But another big thing is they think that maintenance means going back to what their maintenance used to be.
Mm.
Or simply just, okay, if I was in a 500 calorie daily deficit, now I'm just going to add 500 calories back in. You can't do that because now you're smaller.
That's true.
You're a
right.
smaller version of yourself.
Yeah.
And the part of reverse dieting, the reason for reverse dieting is so that you can slowly figure out what that new number is without putting on unnecessary weight gain.
Yeah.
So if you add back in slowly, like, okay, I'm going to add in like 300 calories a day. Okay, I'm still kind of losing a little bit. Let me add another 100. Still kind of losing, add another 100. But if you go, you know what, I'm just going to add back 700 calories. And if that's not your maintenance anymore, now you've put yourself into a surplus, you're going to quickly kind of like gain a couple more pounds. Then you're going to feel like, oh shoot, now I got to go back into a deficit. And this is when you can kind of mess things up.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to do that. You don't want to go into short deficits and short maintenance phases. Ideally, you're going into a deficit to get to your goal or to get to a significant number before you have to take a pause. Because if you have a lot of weight to lose, chances are you're going to have a couple of calorie deficit and maintenance phases before you get to your goal. Can't lose 100 pounds on a straight deficit.
No.
That's not going to work. Your calories are going to get too low. Your activity's going to get too high. It's not sustainable.
Yeah. You're going to have some bumps along the road, and that's okay. It's part of the process. You guys, start thinking about this long term. Stop putting short-term goals. Tired of, I want to get this body for the summer. Oh, I got to wait. Nah, man. This is a lifestyle, dude, for the rest of your life. Not right now. It's not a Band-Aid. It's forever. So put that in your mindset that this is forever.
I know I'm excited about getting back to maintenance because I like maintenance, but I also know if I just kind of like hunker down and do the deficit for, I would say 12 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm now, I think, has it been since January 1st, I think. So 4 weeks will be Monday.
Oh, nice.
For me, 4 weeks.
Good for you.
At least 12 weeks, you know. Maybe I'll go 16 weeks, and if I'm not where I need to be, just go into maintenance for a couple of months and then finish it off after that. But because I'm trying to get to a new place, not where I was before.
I see what you're saying.
I'm trying to get to a new place, meaning that it might take a little longer, because I definitely do like a conservative deficit. It's not crazy. But I'm excited to get back to maintenance. So in my head, I'm thinking, do the work, and you can get back to maintenance. But even for me, I'll have to refigure out where maintenance is. Even though I was in maintenance for an entire year, my new maintenance may not be that.
Yeah.
I have to refigure out that number and see where my body's at, see where it likes to maintain. I don't know. I guess we'll see. What's your goals right now? Like, what are your goals for this year of life in terms of physical fitness, like your body?
Just keep excelling, keep getting in better shape, keep pushing myself harder, keep learning, getting better.
But do you have any like body aesthetic goals?
Just get leaner. That's really it. I think I want to drop like 10 pounds maybe off this frame.
Really?
Yeah.
What would that take you to?
I don't know.
170s?
Probably like in the 170s, yeah.
Wow.
I'll be a ripped old dude in good shape.
Ripped old dude.
Yeah, fighting shape. I'll have the women fighting over me, but I'm taking, ladies.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
You know what? I don't even know what my weight is because I decided to, I think I talked about this a couple weeks ago, but because I'm in a recomp, I'm literally trying to put on muscle and then get leaner. I'm trying to lose body fat. And I already have a DEXA scan that I can compare to, that I'm trying to get better than. So I decided not to weigh myself because it's kind of irrelevant.
Yeah.
From where I'm at. So, because it's like I've been kind of the same weight for like 5 years, 120 pounds, but my body has been completely different in those 5 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. One thing I've done differently is I've added more protein into my meals.
You needed that. I told
that.
you.
Yeah. Protein shakes. Any extra I can get because the way I'm
tell
training.
you were low on protein.
Mm-hmm. That helps with satiety too.
Yeah. So for me, I'm just kind of more focused on how I look. I can tell you one thing, and this is very cool feeling because I'm in a deficit. So I should be feeling weaker, but I feel strong. I did up my protein. I upped my protein by about 20 grams a day because I wanted to make sure that I'm not going to lose this muscle that I've worked hard for during a deficit, because that's a risk. When you are in a deficit, there's a risk that you could lose lean muscle.
You'll lose some. You won't hold on to all of it.
But if you up your protein, you'll minimize that.
Yes.
And if you up your protein and you are really still having good workouts, it doesn't, you don't have to lose muscle.
Yeah.
And I feel strong. I don't feel weaker.
That's a good sign. Right there, what you just said.
Right.
When you're losing, when you're in deficit, if you're feeling strong, you're doing something right.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times you feel way weaker.
You do, and that's when you lose. When you feel weaker and all of a sudden...
Yeah, your steam ain't there.
When you're reaching for the lower weights, it's like, oh, shoot. That means my muscles are shrinking.
Yeah.
And I don't want that.
No.
So, I do feel strong. So I feel confident that I'm retaining my muscle. Like I said, I'm in a super conservative fat loss phase. I would say maybe a half a pound a week of body fat, if I'm lucky.
And it's crazy. We don't go crazy on Saturdays no more. That's another thing that's helped.
It's part of my deficit.
Yeah.
That's why I can't. But so I figure in 4 weeks, 2 pounds of body fat probably. I would say I probably have lost.
Doesn't sound like much, but that's a lot.
Of body fat?
Especially for pure body fat.
Because it's concentrated kind of in my abdomen. Because like I said, like I used, instead of the scale, I'm using a pair of jeans that were feeling like I couldn't zip them. I think I could button them 4 weeks ago, but I couldn't zip them. Ooh. Because I think like was holding more fat in like my abdomen. And a week ago I tried them on and I could zip them.
Ooh, it's working.
I'm like, okay, cool. That's body fat gone. That's the only reason why I could zip them now. And then now I try them on and like they're buttoned, they're zipped, and they look good. Like that's
motivation, right?
Yeah, well, it's working.
I used to say that to my clients, like, get a pair of jeans that you absolutely love, but you can't fit in them, or a dress that you absolutely want to rock or wear. Make it your goal. Yeah. Make it your goal. Because once you get in there, your motivation even jumps higher than it keeps going.
Yeah, and these are jeans. They're Zara jeans, and there's zero stretch. They're 100% cotton. Jeans like that keep you honest AF. Because a pair of Lululemons look good whether I'm, 5 pounds up or 5 pounds down. I remember this. My coach used to say, like, I don't know what it is about those Lululemons, but some of my clients come in here and I'll look at them going, okay, good. It looks like they've been sticking to their diet. He goes, and then I'll do a posing test in their bikini because he's, a competition coach. And he would say, oh, man, those Lululemons tricked me again. They've been cheating on their diet. He could tell just by looking at someone.
Oh, he was good.
Oh, he was so
good.
Was good. And I feel like I've gotten that. Like, I can tell. Like, you don't have to, I don't want to hear it. Let me just look at your pictures and I'll be able to tell, even more so than the number on the scale, anything. I just got to look at your pictures, and then I know what's been going on.
Let's be honest. How many women go and buy workout clothes and don't work out? They just wear it to be cute. Let's be honest.
I'm telling you.
Let's keep it real.
Lululemon is packed.
The economy's supposed to be bad, and we're supposed to be broke. Every time you go, and I'm going with you, like, geez, dude.
It's insane how many people shop at Lululemon.
And it's expensive. I look at those prices, I'm good.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, it's a good treat for yourself.
Nothing wrong
If
with that.
you
Yeah.
reach a goal, say, you know what, I'm going to treat myself to some Lululemons. For me, it's to fit good or comfortable again in my super not stretchy Zara jeans, because I have 2 pairs that are the same size and I want them to feel cute again in them. And like I said, I tried them on a few days ago. They buttoned, they zipped. That means the calorie deficit is working. That's what I mean. I could care less what a scale says. But I need to try them on again. I need to see if it's even... that was a few days ago. So on Monday, I'll try them on again. And then I will do... I'm going to... Like I said, I'll do a YouTube, like a progress update. And I'll show you the difference and where the changes are. I'll do a video on that. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget, now we've got the coffee breaks.
Yeah, we do.
So you might see us popping up on your news feed or popping up on your podcast a little more frequently. If you love our podcast and you like having coffee with us as often as possible, then make sure you leave us a 5-star review.
Please.
On Apple Podcasts. Thank you so much.
And refer us to all your friends and family.
Oh, yes, share
Please.
it.
Yeah, we want to grow you guys.
That's a good way to get it out there for us, is share.
Yes.
If you hear a podcast episode you like, share it, tag your friends and family. We'd really appreciate it.
Also,
Thank
before we go, any questions you have, anything you want to talk about, let her know. We'll talk about it. Anything you have.
Yeah, I did. I've already
marriage,
had people,
anything.
I already have people commenting some ideas,
Good.
so I have some coffee break ideas.
Good.
So,
all right.
Lots of good topics coming up, guys. Okay, thank you so much. We'll see you on the next one.
See you.